Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beauties and Beasts, a podcast of all things Beauty and the Beast. I'm DF, and today we have a wonderful request from our generous patron, Poppy X Branch 2000, to cover the Dreamworks movie Trolls, where everything is all sunshine and cupcakes and rainbows and happiness and... oh God, I can't stand this movie. Sorry, I know I'm being paid for this, but I gotta give you my honest opinion. This movie is extremely overrated and has nothing to do with the Good Luck Trolls created by Thomas Dam. And this is from someone who had a collection of the dolls as a kid. Yeah, I know, the same person who was a huge fan of My Little Pony doesn't like the Trolls movies. Yes, My Little Pony also is about cupcakes and rainbows and friendship, but the messages are presented in a mature way that they are not shoved down your throat. And watching Trolls is like having a heap of glittered cotton candy shoved down my throat and being blinded by so many colors than possible in the light spectrum. Yeah. Aside from the visual nightmares and auditory assault, this movie is chock full of toxic positivity, which in psychology means the obsession of positive thinking and the belief that people should put a positive spin on everything, even in super seriously depressing and bleak experiences. Pixar's Inside Out presented this issue too, in an effort to resolve it, while Trolls does the opposite and promotes it. So sorry, Poppy X Branch 2000, I'm about to rip your favorite movie apart. Alright. Before we get into this, I would like to thank my $5 plus patrons, Arvin Joshua Rocks 15, Bella PinkSavage, Cosmic Trail, Poppy X Branch 2000, and TyrannosaurusVenom. Poppy X Branch 2000 did say she was going to try to make it to call in later. Hopefully she'll make it before the end of this stream. You too can become a patron by pledging to patron.podbean.com/beautiesandbeasts and show your support. Podbean also has a new feature coming up called Fan Club. Once I have more information on that, I will explain further. As for my Redbubble merch, okay, cut the happy music for this. I'm afraid I will not be uploading new designs for a while. See, one of my pride flags was taken down from Redbubble for inappropriate content. And funnily enough, it was a heterosexual pride flag. And after a whole dispute, they won't tell me why it was deemed inappropriate. And they won't restore it, even though I've gone through all the process. Can you at least tell me why, people? And as you know, I have over 50 pride flags in my Redbubble shop, and I'm worried if those are going to be taken down too. And it could lead to termination of my account. So, to play it safe, I'm not uploading any new designs until I get to the bottom of this. Yeah, it sucks. I'll admit it, but I'm gonna do what I can in the moment instead of trying to pretend everything's perfect and letting it bring me down. Now that's healthy positivity. Forgive me if I end up vomiting during this plot summary. Yeah. So, the movie starts off with a scrapbook of the trolls, who love singing and dancing and partying and being happy. But the Bergens, who don't know how to be happy, and who apparently can't sing, want to eat the trolls so that they can be happy too! Ugh, the logic in this story drops my IQ down to 0. So, the Bergens keep the trolls in a troll tree, and every year they have a holiday called Trollstice, in which the head chef prepares a troll feast for the Bergens. Yikes, you know the cannibalistic themes make this movie pretty dark for being all cupcakes and rainbows. But the trolls escape, and the chef is banished, and the baby Prince Crystal has yet to eat a troll, and he asks his father, "How will I become happy if I never eat a troll?" And Dad says, "Oh, son, you will never be happy, ever!" Ugh. It's like the writers are trying too hard, seriously. 20 years go by. The Troll King's daughter, Princess Poppy, has grown, and she is throwing a party to celebrate 20 years of freedom from the Bergens. Everyone's invited. It's gonna be the loudest, biggest party ever. And of course, everyone's exciting and barfing rainbows and pooping cupcakes, literally. All except Justin Timberlake, Branch, who insists a big loud party will attract the Bergens. And you know what? He turns out to be right. Seriously, Branch is the only one in this movie to have a brain, while everyone else seems to share one brain cell in total. They all say he's in the wrong for being cautious and gloomy and being a party pooper, but he is right! So why does he get beef for being right and having a brain? So the Bergen chef finds the trolls because, yes, big, loud fireworks in troll shapes, like could you be more obvious? And captures a handful of Poppy's friends, whose names escape me because they're really not memorable and have 2D personalities. And yet are voiced by famous people I do admire, but I forget that they're in the movie because they're playing these background characters, which honestly tends to happen a lot in Dreamworks movies. Poppy's especially upset about Creek because she has a crush on him. They're together. You know, the movie doesn't do much to establish their relationship. We can see the guy for 2 seconds, literally. Poppy wants to go rescue them, but the king says that it's too dangerous. So Poppy goes to Branch for help because he's the only one with the brain, and he says, "I told you so," and shows her his Bergen bunker, where he has all he needs to survive for the next 10 years. He refuses to help the kidnapped trolls, and Poppy's like, "But they're your friends!" "No, they're your friends. You all keep hugging me without consent." Seriously, some people just don't like to be hugged. So, Poppy leads the rest of the trolls to Branch's bunker so they'll be safe, and to piss off Branch, and they destroy his property, while Poppy goes off to rescue her friends. Damn, this girl is downright evil. Poppy sings one of the happiest, most literal songs ever, while getting almost eaten by nightmarish creatures 50 times in this big, happy musical number. Her tenacity's admirable, but God, stop singing! Ugh, I hate this movie for making me want to strangle Anna Kendrick, even though I love her! Branch swoops in and rescues Poppy from being eaten by a giant spider, and he goes, "I told you so," again. And she goes, "Ha ha, I knew you'd come because you couldn't stand the sea of assaulting trolls." Ugh, evil. Branch reluctantly accompanies Poppy to Bergentown, if only to make sure she doesn't hurt herself. They get into a whole debate of whether or not Poppy's friends are still alive. Poppy tells Branch to think positive, and Branch tells her to be realistic. And Poppy doesn't have a plan, and Branch thinks it's a suicide mission, and they don't reach an agreement. Okay, you know, Naveen and Tiana had a conversation like this, but at least they both made good points. Poppy's arguments are all, "I don't think," "I hope," and are nonsensical. And Branch's, "I can't wait to see the look on your face when you realize the world is not all cupcakes and rainbows," comes off as kind of mean-spirited. Yeah, why did these two end up falling in love again? Remind me? They reach a series of tunnels, and a creepy talking cloud, yeah, right, says that he will show them the way to Bergentown if Branch gives him a high five, specifically Branch, because he knows that Poppy would do it anyway. Branch refuses out of pettiness, but when he does agree to do it, the cloud moves his hand at the last second, and then does a series of handshakes and fist bumps and yada yada yada. Rightfully so, Branch tries to kill the cloud, chasing him around, and the cloud ends up leading them through the right tunnel. Yeah, sorry, the cloud, there's a reason he's not in the sequel, am I right? Now they're in Bergentown, where everyone's miserable and sings off-key, because apparently happiness is measured by singing. Meanwhile, in the castle, a grown-up yet still childlike King Gristle is miserable because he's never eaten a troll, so how can he be happy? Ugh. The chef comes in and shows him the trolls, who are still singing, by the way, even though they're imprisoned. Do these trolls have any sense of self-preservation? As much as the king wishes to eat one now, he wants to share the happiness with everyone and bring back Trollstis, and he reinstates the chef. Poppy and Branch come in time to see the preparations for Trollstis being made, and their friends in a cage, and Creek being made into a taco and stuffed in the king's mouth! Oh no! I'd care more if we'd actually spent enough time with this guy to actually care. Poppy thinks that they can still save Creek, but Branch says it's too late for him. I mean, he's probably digested now. Hello. The rest of the trolls are put under the watch of Bridget, the scullery maid, and Poppy and Branch overhear her singing Lionel Richie in front of her love shrine for the king. Hey, what do you know? One of these Bergens can actually sing. Yeah, so is niceness in this movie measured by singing voice? Because by that logic, no, anybody who's tone deaf can't be happy? Admittedly, it's hard not to love Zooey Deschanel in this role. I'm just kind of sad that she's in this movie. Poppy makes a deal with Bridget. If they can all help her get a date with the king, she can help them find Creek and escape. Just as they're about to get into this whole makeover song, Bridget notices Branch isn't singing, and he says that he doesn't sing. Yeah, Justin Timberlake doesn't sing, right. And Bridget thinks if he's not singing, then it's a terrible plan. And Poppy insists he must sing, and God leave this poor boy alone. If he doesn't want to sing, he doesn't have to. And she's like, why won't you sing? Because singing killed my grandma! Okay, yeah, I know, it's sad, and I shouldn't be laughing, but it's the movie's fault for delivering the line like that. Yeah, so, yeah, he was singing as a kid, and that's how the Bergens found him, and his grandma got eaten trying to save him, so he was never happy again, and I hate that every time I hear Total Eclipse of the Heart, I am now forced to think of this movie. Same goes for all the other songs used in here. Oh, why do you gotta hate me? Make me hate the songs I love. And I hate that no kids of this generation realize these songs did not come from trolls, and they were written by other people and should not be debased like this in such an inferior state. I'm fine. I'll get through this. Only 40 more minutes of this movie to go. God, when will it end? Branch agrees to help, and so the trolls dress Bridget up and use their super hair to make a rainbow wig, because why not? And suddenly, this movie has become a Cinderella/Cyrano de Bergerac, as the trolls tell Bridget what to say while she is pretending to be someone else named Lady Glittersparkles. Oh, is this why we're covering this movie? And not to torture me. I guess the king and Bridget are kind of Beauty and the Beast-ish. Her being a beast because she's a servant, but Beauty for being kind. And him being presumed the bad guy at first, but he really is just misunderstood and wants to be happy. Fine, I'll admit, these two are kind of adorable. Too bad that they're not the main couple. The king takes Bridget to a pizza parlor and roller rink on their date. Hey, wait a minute. You mean to tell me these Bergens have a pizza parlor and roller rink and they still can't be happy? How do these businesses stay afloat and if no one does fun? I mean, pizza makes you happy, roller skating makes you happy, sick music makes you happy. Okay, you know what? This is on them. They're just in the dumps. But still, how did these places even get started if nobody is ever happy? Okay, Branch feeds Bridget some romantic BS, all while looking at Poppy, like he's saying it to her out of nowhere. And Bridget goes off script saying that being with the king has made her think that true happiness is possible. The king misinterprets this and shows off his troll, hidden in his necklace. Yay, what's his name? Russell Brand is alive. Still don't care. So, the roller skating date is interrupted by the chef, who's like, you better not be happy or I'll be proven wrong and out of a job. And reminds him of Trollstis, which Bridget has to work at and appear as the king's +1 as Lady Glittersparkles. Bridget runs off, leaving her roller skate behind in a glass slipper fashion, and the king holds onto it. Yeah, Cinderella and all that. Back at Bridget's room, the trolls rejoice over how Creek is alive, and they are about to go rescue him when Bridget stops them. Because, she needs them to help her be Lady Glittersparkles. And Poppy says that Bridget and the king can just make each other happy. And Bridget's like, that's impossible! The only way you can be happy is if you eat a troll! Everyone knows that! God, kill me now. The trolls give Bridget the slip, they get the king's necklace, but Creek is not there, and they are all captured by the chef. Surprise! Creek betrayed the trolls because he didn't want to die! You know, this would have been more of a twist had I actually liked Creek to begin with. Oh, and he leads the Bergens to the other trolls in hiding, and now everyone's captured and put into a big pot. And you know what? This is on the chef. Like, if you didn't want the trolls to escape, why didn't you just cook them there and then and there and not, like, just have them alive in the pot? Or is that a thing? Like, the happiness has more effect if the trolls are still alive when you eat them? Yeah, again, this movie's surprisingly dark. So they're all in a pot. Poppy gets really sad. She turns gray, and so does everyone else. And then Branch, starts singing and lifts everyone's spirits, and they all turn colorful again, including Branch. And he thanks Poppy for showing him how to be happy. Now, when facing death? I'm sorry, how did this happen again? When exactly did Poppy teach Branch how to be happy? And what was it? The singing, the matchmaking, the brushes with death? Look, I'm all for the opposites attract trope, if the name of my podcast wasn't obvious. I get it, he's gloomy, she's happy, they're supposed to complement each other, but in this case, I don't get it. This came out of nowhere for me. So Bridget helps him escape, but Poppy decides the Bergens deserve to be happy too. So they save Bridget from the lynch mob to reveal her to be Lady Glittersparkles. King Gristle is happy. Poppy makes a big speech that happiness isn't something you put inside you. It's already there, and sometimes you need someone to help bring it out. You don't have to eat a troll to be happy. They sing, they dance, and everything magically becomes colorful and psychedelic. I'm sorry, what? Okay, so I think my opinion on this movie is pretty straightforward. The sequel, Trolls World Tour, is better by default, but of course, Poppy still proves to be annoying, and what is with Branch trying to confess his feelings when he already sang them at the end of the first movie? Continuity, people, it's important. At least that message on how differences should be celebrated and not ignored or erased, you know, being inclusive versus pluralist, is conveyed pretty well. Like, okay, yeah, I did enjoy World Tour more, only because they were better at sending that message. That you can't unite people by just having them all be one thing, and you can't unite people by having them forget their culture, their opinions, their differences, what makes them them. And that you can be more than one thing, and really you should celebrate differences and not pretend they don't exist. As for the first movie, the message is, anyone can be happy if they just look inside. You don't need to eat a troll to be happy. Not sure what the eating a troll is supposed to symbolize in terms of real life. Maybe comfort eating, taking antidepressants, or happy pills. Don't hurt people at the expense of your own happiness. You know, the message isn't exactly translatable, Dreamworks. I'm sorry, you've lost me. Severely. Yeah, thank you, Bella PinkSavage. This is one of those movies where the sequel is better, but only by default. I'm still annoyed by the protagonist. The whole anyone can be happy thing goes back to what I said earlier on toxic positivity. I can't even say it. Toxic positivity. See, in Pixar's Inside Out, which came out around the same time, Joy had to realize that sadness was just as important, and that emotions are complex, and you can have more than one feeling at once. Trolls does the opposite, dismissing the necessity of negative emotions, or presumably negative emotions, and encouraging people to be happy, even when facing traumatic situations. No, that is not how the world works. We need emotions like fear so we can make rational decisions, and we need sadness and anger so we can let people know what's bothering us. If you keep it all bottled up inside, you're gonna end up miserable, despite the smiling through it all. Not to say you should let sadness consume you, which I guess sort of happened to Branch, that he never let himself be happy ever again. But there needs to be a balance. Take this whole pandemic, for instance. Sure, things have gotten a bit better, what with people getting vaccinated and some places reopening. And we want to look at the bright side. We want to hope that at some point this madness is going to end. And of course, there's nothing wrong with trying to be optimistic, if only to pull yourself through the day and to prevent yourself from getting totally depressed. But that doesn't change the fact that shit happens. Shit has happened, especially this year. And we should be allowed to cry about it, to rage about it. Because if we don't vent our feelings, we're never going to be able to deal with them and process them and move forward. And if we didn't have our fear, we wouldn't have had the caution to stay inside and protect ourselves from the virus. Wow, you know what? I just realized Branch would have been great at social distancing. See? Another reason he's right. Okay? What they should have done in this movie is found a way for Branch to move on from his trauma without the peer pressure to sing and be happy. I mean, there are different things that can make people happy. It's not all just singing and cupcakes, rainbows, and dancing and whatever Poppy used. Like, at some point, we will have to leave our houses and face the world, but not without still having caution. We'll still have to wash our hands, and if we are sick, make sure we stay home. Maybe we've come out of this experience better. But the way Dreamworks presents Poppy and Branch as polar opposites falls flat, because Branch does a total 180 on his morals, while Poppy, as demonstrated by the second movie especially, learns absolutely nothing. One of the most static protagonists I've ever seen. So, yeah, I'm sorry if you enjoy this movie. Fine. I just think it gets more credit than it deserves. Yeah, let me put it this way. The Cats movie had more singing and some less than realistic effects, and I enjoyed that more. So I appreciate art pieces, so sue me. Alright, we were going to have Poppy X Branch 2000 call in, but I guess she couldn't make it this time. And we'll probably have to do her call in at some other episode. So, does anybody have anything to add to this conversation now that I totally need therapy after going through all that? Okay. Yes, thank you. Bella has summed up this episode perfectly. Trolls exist. DF internally screaming. Yep. Now see, here's me venting my emotions in a mature way. More or less. And Bella also says, maybe because I grew up on MLPG3, My Little Pony Generation 3, watching Trolls years later didn't give me the urge to kill myself. I don't know. LOL. I had watched My Little Pony Generation 1, but even though then, I got past some of the 2D characters and I love the adventure. It didn't shove things down my throat. And Cosmic Trail has never watched Trolls. Okay, I have spared you the torment. I needed my mom there for emotional support when I was rewatching the movie. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I know. It's big. It had a spin-off TV series. It had a sequel. And it has lots of product placement and merchandise. And for some reason, every kid I babysit is into this movie. I don't know why. And yet, okay, Dreamworks, you spend so much attention on Trolls, but when you have really great, wholesome movies like Megamind, you don't do anything more with it? What's up with that? Sometimes I think Dreamworks is a money grubber. And you know what? It is. Okay, thank you, Bella. I'm sorry for the loss of your sanity, DF. Yes. I've lost my sanity. Well, it doesn't look like Poppy X Branch is going to make it. Maybe it's just as well. I'm not so sure what her response would be after my review. Alright. Oh, Cosmic Trail. But my sister enjoys the movie. Good thing she's not listening to it. XD. You're lucky. I still have to listen to their renditions of perfectly good songs. Yeah. So, the next episode took a patron vote, and this time we'll do a classic fairy tale that will probably restore my sanity because I actually like this fairy tale. We briefly touched upon it in the Once Upon a Time episode, but now we'll go more in depth with the Brothers Grimm tale of Rumpelstiltskin. Hope you can remember the name because it just might save your life one day. So, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. If you're not happy, that's fine. Acknowledge the feelings, talk them out with someone, and I'm sure you'll eventually find the strength to pull through them and move forward with your life. Again, true positivity. Seriously, I really need therapy now.